Debra Mitchell coming up. Let's go. It's about that time. We're going to bring out this lovely young lady to our show. The second half with DJ Coach K right here on the number one station on the net, period. That'll be WHLR Hotline Radio. And if you have any questions pertaining to relationships, please, by all means, go to my Facebook page at DJ Coach K and just write it there. I'll be able to catch it that way. I won't be able to catch it all over anywhere else like I normally am. Today I'm doing something different. So if you're trying to get in to get a question in, please at DJ Coach K. Now, as you know, today's episode is called A Diva with Standards. So the songs that you've been hearing have been basically relationship based, or that's my man, you can't have him, or that whole situation of I can't stand that Negro or whatever, or just the fact of the matter of men loving women. So the reason for that is because of today's show. Now, understand, this is a best-selling author. Her book is called Where Are Your Standards? And we're going to ask her about that, because here's someone, when you talk about giving relationship advice, I think she's more than enough qualified, because she has over 30 years in this industry. She's been married over 30 years. Excuse me. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to have on the show Miss Debra Mitchell. Debra, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's an honor. It is truly an honor. Debra, we're not even going to waste any time. We're going to jump right into this. And I want to really, like I said it to you earlier, I do appreciate the fact that you're here. It's an honor to have you here. And I really want my listeners to get a great understanding of your background and what you bring to the table and all that good stuff. So they'll know that they're not just dealing with, someone that just decided, I'm going to write a book on relationships. So let's talk. Who is Debra Mitchell?
Okay. I'm very passionate about helping women make better decisions when it comes to relationships and marriage. So I'm a relationship expert, a workshop host, a motivational speaker, a mentor and a coach, as well as an award-winning author. I've won about 8 awards with my books.
Wow.
And I'm just very excited to help women understand what standards are and how to raise them and how to have them. And that also helps with the children and the families.
Whoa, wow. Did you say 8 awards?
I'm sorry?
Did you say 8 awards?
Yes, 8, yes.
Wow.
Literary awards for my book so far.
Okay. Now, why did you write the book, Where Are Your Standards? And like you already basically said it was for, but why really did you write this book?
I really wrote the book to give women a platform to tell their stories. The book is full of stories from women from all life, and they range from age from 18 to 67, and they all have suffered in silence. So they've never had an opportunity to tell their stories, and I hope that their stories will help change lives or save lives.
Okay. That's amazing. That's, someone that's really that passionate about what they do. Now, there are, and I do mean there are many relationship books out there. I think most people know Steve Harvey's book to a point, whether they read it or not, whether they, did whatever they felt about it, critiqued it or whatever. But, talk shows as well. What makes your book different from all of those?
Well, what makes my book different is to have a chance to tell their stories, and then I give them an opportunity to see what's going wrong, to see the truth of the situation, and then how to raise their standards. So, for example, some of the chapter titles are, say, dating a married man, or dating or marrying an ex-con, or dating a control freak, or dating a man that's abusive. I have all of these titles in my chapter. All of these are the chapter titles in my book, and they also explain how to get out of those situations, because you don't want to live your whole life in a bad situation.
Right. I mean, you pretty much touched on a lot there. I mean, that's pretty much at least one woman has gone through one of those type of scenarios. Because,
Yes.
I mean, let's think about one of the things that is really mental abuse. Let's talk about that because I'm sure you touch on that in a sense that allows women to understand their worth. Because I've seen where women are abused mentally far worse than they are physically. So, what is your take on that?
Yes. And abuse comes in several forms. As you mentioned, physical abuse is one, but emotional abuse is one, verbal abuse is one, sexual abuse is one, financial abuse is one. So there's like 5 different areas where a woman could be abused. And some women thinking, well, as long as he's not hitting me, then I'm not being abused. And that's really not accurate at all.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that 100%. And, on top of those chapters, there's also another book that you have. It's my understanding. It's a memoir. It's 10 signs to 10 signs you are in a bad relationship.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I was trying to say the name of the book, the memoir for you. 10 signs you are in a bad relationship.
Yes. So I introduced that to the ladies to see if there's anything that applies to you that's on one of these 10 signs that you're in a bad relationship. So first one, I don't know if I can go all through all 10, but the first one would be he tries to keep you away from your family and friends, and he acts excessively jealous and possessive. So those are just a couple things. Like another one, he calls you vulgar names or criticizes you. These are signs that you're in a bad or unhealthy relationship.
Okay. Yeah, let me ask you this on that, because advice goes around like is water when it comes to these things. And it's sad that so many people get led in many directions with relationship advice that some people shouldn't be given. So I got to ask you this question on how do you deal with that situation, because 30 years of marriage, I applaud you first off on that. 30 years of marriage.
Yes.
How far into your marriage did you know that you can write a relationship book?
I knew probably the first few years of marriage because I understood how to date, and I think a lot of women don't understand that. And they understand that the man is supposed to pursue the woman. Most women go out, chase a man down, and then when he's not interested, he begins to use her because she's so available. So I think there's a problem with women not knowing how to be ladies. So that's some things I talk about to make sure that they understand they have the value and they have the worth. They have worth and self-value. So I think a lot of them don't realize that. Their self-esteem is very low.
Right.
And some women, they just want to be in a relationship, whether it's healthy or not. They just want to be in a relationship, or they just want to be married to a man that they're probably not a good fit for. Well, so that's really what I determined to try to help women out.
I'm not going to say no names, but I hope there's a few people I know heard what she just said, especially that part where you said you should not be chasing that man down.
You should not be doing that. That's backwards and it's out of order. And what you're going to do is attract what I call a boo-boo. I always ask women, is he your boo or your boo-boo?
Uh-oh.
So,
boo or boo-boo?
If you are not doing things in order, you're going to get a boo-boo. And it's going to probably be a painful experience for you, as opposed to being in a loving, healthy relationship where the woman and the husband and wife are supporting each other, loving each other, and growing together. That's what I'm looking for, to try to help my women reach that part of a standard, that level.
Now, please break that down one more time for me, the difference between a boo and a boo-boo. Because that is.
You know what? I begin all of my presentations with that. That's my icebreaker, and that's my question. Have you ever been in a bad relationship? And so far, 100% of the women that have attended my presentations have raised their hand.
Wow.
So I said, ladies, he's not your boo, he's your boo-boo. And today we're going to learn how to cut our losses and raise our standards.
Yep, there you go. See, standards. I once told my daughter this. I said, there's a difference between being a gold digger and having standards. because I didn't want her to grow up and find herself in a relationship where the guy thought she was all out, for his money. And I had explained
Right.
to her, listen, it's one thing that you want a guy that's going to take care of you and do all those things. But
Right.
please, by all means, do like Beyonce said, put a ring, have them put that ring on their finger first before you start saying, okay, this is, this is mine and this is your. No, it's yours together when you're married, not when you're your boyfriend and girlfriend. So yeah, I understand.
Right.
Well,
that's why I
that,
totally agree with you on that, and that's why I'm so against women living with men that they're not married to, because there's no benefits there. You're not covered on life insurance or health insurance or dental insurance. You just they're using up your resources in your body. You're not really a wife and not being honored that way. So if you talk to your daughter, there's no really benefit for the woman when this happens, in my opinion.
Absolutely, I agree, and that's one of the things I hear so much. Oh, marriage is just a paper. They really don't understand when they say that marriage is just a paper. I can, and so let me come back just a second on that, because the difference there is in a relationship when it comes to them, victim versus a volunteer. Please elaborate on that. What is the difference on that?
Yes. What that means is if you go on a date for the first time, say a young man asks you out, he's handsome and well dressed, and you think, hey, this would be a great opportunity, and you go on out on a date with him. And then he starts to disrespect you. Maybe he calls you vulgar names, or he's disagreeing with where you want to go or how you would dress that day. Very controlling. Maybe he says, I don't like you to wear makeup, or your skirt's too short or too long, or I don't like your hair that way. This gives you an opportunity of who the person is. And I try to explain to people, you can't change him, you can't fix him, you can't cure him. Some women think that they can change anybody and anything, and that's not true. So in that particular instance, you are a victim because you had no way he was going to act that way. However, if he asks you out again and next Saturday you say, yeah, let's go out again, now you're volunteering to be mistreated because you know this is how he's going to respond. You know he's going to disrespect you. You know you're not going to be heard. He's going to control you. So now you're volunteering to be treated this way. So to me, you have lowered your standards because that's not a healthy relationship. So if you sign up for that, that's what kind of life you're going to have if you decide to stay with this gentleman. So that's the difference between a victim versus a volunteer.
Valid point. Valid point. Now, if I took 10 women right now and gave them this book, do you think they would all be able to follow these rules and actually succeed?
I think so, for this reason. When they read the chapters, they're going to find themselves in one of these. I have 22 chapters in my book, and everyone who's read this book has loved it because they found themselves in it somewhere. The ladies that I interviewed said I did a better job for them than their own therapists because I let them listen, and then we sat down and came up with a strategy session on how to raise your standards. And that's what I do with my workshop. We talk about where you are now, but where we can go for tomorrow, because I don't want to look back because those are all yesterday. You can't really fix that, but you can move forward. So anyone who reads this book will probably find themselves or someone they know in some of these chapter titles, and then we talk about how to raise your standards. So I think it would be beneficial for anyone between those ages of 18 and 67.
Okay. 22 chapters. I mean, you have to learn something. So that's a lot of research right there that you went through.
Yes, it did. I was very excited to do this project and to really let women have a platform to tell their stories because most of them have suffered in silence, and they're still hurting, and then they have their daughters that's going through the same thing. So I really hope this will allow us to break the vicious cycle of unhealthy relationships.
Right.
It should be a normal thing for a husband and wife to have their own children, nuclear children, as opposed to all the broken homes we have with single moms or single dads or divorced families, because the children are the ones who are suffering in those situations.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that. And it's a lot. That's a lot of information right there. So, I mean, when you're doing this research, I got to ask this question. Will it possibly be a revised version of your book? Because, like, Think and Grow Rich, they revised it so many times and added so many new things. And I'm sure new things probably arise in this particular area. So would there be a revised version by any chance?
I'm certainly open to that. If I come across that where there's an opportunity to revise it, I'm certainly open to it. To add more information to help the ladies. So yes, that would be a possibility for me, and I'd be open to that if I have that opportunity.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. And the reason I asked that is because I know we learned something new, and I'm sure you probably had those moments. It was like, oh gosh, I should have added that to this chapter. So I'm almost certain things like that probably does happen. Now I got to ask you this question: in your world, what's going on next for Debra Clifton Mitchell?
I'm continuing to reach out to women to do presentations to get the word out as far as my ability to help them to really raise their standards. Most women are very interested in working to improve themselves so they can improve their self-esteem and then attract more boos as opposed to boo-boos. So that's what I'm having upcoming is presentations and workshops across the country is what I'm really planning. I do have some, I just did one 2 days ago too on a radio show. So I'm really just trying to reach out to the masses to figure out where I can help these ladies because everybody seems to have a need and I'm just trying to figure out how to connect with the audience.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Now, I want to know where can we get a copy of this book, this memoir?
Okay.
And also, please, your social media. It will definitely be going on my page later on today.
Okay, they can get the book at Barnes & Noble as well as Amazon.com. It's just called Where Are Your Standards? So it's very easy to find. And as far as my website address, it's just www.classy.Debra.com. And they can reach me on my website. And also, I can give you email address. It's just DebraMitchell78@yahoo.com.
Okay, that definitely works right there because I'm sure a lot of people, especially on my show, I get a lot of women between the ages of 25 and 45 that listen to the show on a regular. So I'm sure wonderful. One of them will probably say, this is the situation, I want to get it. And matter of fact, you know what? I'll tell you what. This is what we'll do. Courtesy of the second half, first person that emails me at info@ddoentertainment.com, first person that emails me at info@ddoentertainment.com, I will personally buy that copy for you and I will send it to you. So, as soon as I check my emails today, first person that's there is the winner. I'll make the announcement tomorrow.
Sounds great.
Okay. So, Debra, any parting words you would like to say to our listeners before you leave?
Yes, sir, I would. I'd like to have women in order to get your diva status, you have to do three things. Keep your head high, keep your heels high, and keep your standards high.
Amen to that. So, Debra, I want to say thank you to you. Don't hang up just yet. I'm going to get the show back up and running, and I want to talk to you real quick. But I want to say thank you for having you right here on the second half with DJ Coach K on the number one station on the net period. There's a reason why we're the number one station on the net period is because we get great authors like this, guests that will come out here and share their wealth of knowledge with you. So thank you very much, Debra. We truly appreciate you.
Thank you again for having me.
Okay, so don't go anywhere. I'll be right back to you. And, of course, to my listeners, we getting back into this show. Oh, you already know this classic. Let's go.
Yo, remember back on the bully when cats used to harmonize like